Out this week on Impact, we've been looking closer at claims that persecution of Christians is worsening across Asia. According to a monitoring organisation, the problem has risen sharply over the past 5 years, with 1 in 3 Asian Christians now suffering high levels of persecution. For the first time, India, the world's largest democracy, has entered the World Watch List top 10, with allegations that Hindu extremists are acting with impunity and carrying out violent attacks on Christians and churches. Well, it's alleged that Hindu extremists are acting with impunity and carrying out these violent attacks. Filmed here, one incident cited by human rights group Alliance Defending Freedom in India happened 14 months ago in Tamil Nadu state. ADF say that a Christmas prayer and dedication meeting attended by 100 Christians came under attack from a group pelting stones. However, it wasn't the attackers who were arrested, but the injured pastor on charges of attempting conversions. ADF says the church remains locked by the police. Tamina Arora is a human rights lawyer and director of Alliance Defending Freedom India. She joins me now from Delhi. Tamina, thanks very much for joining us. This is quite alarming that the incidence of violence against Christians in India has almost doubled over the last 5 years.
Yes, it's shocking really that in spite of having constitutional safeguards, we see increasingly religious minorities and Christians in particular being targeted in such a fashion. You're right, numbers show that it has indeed doubled over the years.
And the fact that India, the world's largest democracy, a country that celebrates so many different religions and so many different groups, is now in the top 10 for the first time.
Absolutely. And I think, as you were sharing this previously also, what really is driving it is the impunity that these mobs seem to be enjoying. The fact that you can show up outside somebody's home, outside a church, you can beat up the persons inside and have them arrested is just shocking. And we have seen this over and over and over again. The stats show that there were over about 150 incidents just about 4 years ago. And last year we recorded over 292. 100 plus coming out from Uttar Pradesh alone. So really very disturbing stats for us.
Why this impunity? Why are they emboldened, these mobs?
I think the mobs seem to understand that this is getting them the attention that they want from political groups. Police officials seem to be very cowed down by the huge mobs that are showing up. They could range from anywhere between 50 to 100 people to 200 people also on occasion. And just looking at those numbers, the police in fact has told me when I've spoken to them on occasion that it's easier for them to take the pastor into custody for his protection, they say. But of course, then what follows is a police case, and you keep fighting that for years on end. So let's get rid of the mob, take the pastor into custody, file the case, just quieten them down. And so mob violence is something that the courts have also picked up and talked about how this is a serious issue in our nation at the moment.
Part of the problem is this anti-conversion law, which has existed for centuries really in India.
Well, not from centuries, but we've had them around 67 and 68. But these laws have been recently, for instance, in the state of Jharkhand, in the state of Uttarakhand, have been introduced again with very, very draconian measures, up to 5 years imprisonment, 6 years imprisonment. And the laws feed into a larger narrative that Christians are giving money to convert people. This is a narrative that is heard over and over again from different parts of the country, even where laws do not exist. But we have yet to find one case where a Christian has been convicted under the law. So every year we ourselves are handling several cases where pastors have been accused under the act, but they eventually fall through. But it feeds the larger narrative. Last year there was a case that came to us of about 70 kids who were traveling for a Bible camp. And as they were going towards this camp, they were stopped at a railway station, stopped by the police on allegations that these children were being taken to be converted. They were all Christian children. The pastors who were accompanying them were Christian. Some of the parents were there, and they were all detained. The children were let off after 3 days. The pastors spent more than 3 months in jail on allegations of conversion of Christian kids, Christian parents, Christians. It's just ridiculous.
The reason I said centuries, Tamina, is I was reading that it was actually brought into place under the British Empire. But we have run out of time. I'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us here on the programme.
Thank you.